What if I told you that two foods with the same moisture content can have completely different shelf lives? The key reason behind this is not just how much water is present, but how much of that water is actually available for reactions. This concept is known as water activity, and it plays a central role in food stability, safety, and quality. In this video, we will explore moisture sorption isotherms, which describe the relationship between moisture content and water activity in food systems. This relationship is fundamental in food engineering, especially in drying, packaging, and storage design. Let us begin with the graph. On the horizontal axis, we have water activity, which ranges from 0 to 1. On the vertical axis, we have moisture content, usually expressed on a dry basis. The curve you see is sigmoidal in shape, commonly referred to as a type 2 sorption isotherm. This type of behavior is observed in most food materials, especially those containing carbohydrates and proteins. We can divide this curve into three distinct regions, each representing different physical and molecular interactions of water within the food matrix. Let us start with region 1, known as monolayer adsorption. In this region, water molecules are strongly bound to specific active sites on the surface of food components, such as proteins, starch, and other polar molecules. These interactions are primarily hydrogen bonds and ionic interactions. The water in this region has very low mobility and is not available for microbial growth or most chemical reactions. This makes region 1 the most stable zone for food storage. The concept of monolayer moisture content is very important here. It represents the amount of water required to form a single molecular layer over the surface of the food. At this point, the food is considered to have maximum stability. From an engineering perspective, this is often the target moisture level during drying processes. Moving to region 2, we enter the multi-layer adsorption zone. Here, additional layers of water start forming over the initial monolayer. The binding energy of water decreases compared to region 1. Instead of interacting directly with the food surface, water molecules now interact more with each other. As a result, mobility increases and the system becomes more dynamic. This region is critical because many important changes begin to occur. The physical structure of food starts to change, especially in products that rely on crispness or rigidity. For example, biscuits and crackers begin to absorb moisture and lose their crisp texture, becoming soft or rubbery. This region is also associated with glass transition phenomena. At low moisture levels, many foods exist in a glassy state, which is hard and brittle. As moisture increases, the glass transition temperature decreases, and the material becomes rubbery. This transition has major implications for texture, stability, and processing behavior. Now let us move to region 3, known as capillary condensation. In this region, water behaves more like free liquid. It accumulates in pores and capillaries within the food structure. The increase in moisture content becomes very rapid with small increases in water activity. This is the most critical and unstable region. Water is now fully available for microbial growth, including bacteria, yeasts, and molds. This leads to rapid spoilage and reduced shelf life. In addition, structural changes such as swelling, collapse, and caking can occur. Powdered foods like milk powder can become sticky and form lumps. Similarly, dry products can lose their structural integrity. Now let us connect this understanding to real food systems. Different foods follow slightly different sorption curves depending on their composition. High sugar products like jam show higher water activity at lower moisture content due to osmotic effects. High protein foods like milk powder have different binding characteristics. Cereal-based foods like biscuits show strong sensitivity to moisture changes, especially in terms of texture. From a modeling perspective, sorption isotherms are described using equations such as the BET model and the GAB model. The BET model is useful in the low water activity range and helps estimate the monolayer moisture content. However, it has limitations and is typically valid only up to moderate water activity levels. The GAB model is more widely used because it can describe the entire range of the isotherm. It includes parameters that account for monolayer moisture, heat absorption, and multi-layer interactions. These models are essential tools for food engineers. They help predict how food will behave under different humidity conditions and allow optimization of drying processes, packaging materials, and storage NV.